Hello everyone and welcome back to Through the Dragonglass. We are on chapter 12 of the Secrets of the Federal Reserve, but before we get started, I want everyone to hit that thumbs up, notification bell, leave a comment, and tell a friend about me, and also hit that subscribe button for me. Alright, let's get started. When investments surpass the supply of savings, the excess has to be borrowed from banks. The banks will then increase their interest rates as a remedy for the excess of borrowed money. The Federal Reserve applied this method, but not as a remedy, but to create a depression that would affect everyone except large trust companies.
I'm not hurting anybody. It's America, man. I just taking an opportunity, that's all.
The Federal Reserve should have been adjusting the interest rates in accordance with the capital market. Because they did not adjust the rates of credit, an artificial depression was created. The Panic of 1907, the Agricultural Depression, and the Great Depression happened during good crop years and years of prosperity.
No, the corn! Paul Newman's gonna have my legs.
The movement of gold and international pressure on the exchange were also reasons for the Great Depression. The League of Nations has succeeded in putting Europe back on the gold standards. 3/4 of the world's gold was in France and the United States. The Federal Reserve took action to help spread gold to countries throughout Europe. The Fed doubled their government securities and acceptances, resulting in the exportation of $500 million in gold. Foreigners heavily invested in the government securities due to a low money rate. Call money is a short-term financial loan that is payable immediately. There is no scheduled payment date, but the lender can at any time demand repayment. The Federal Reserve exported $725 million in gold, which helped France and Europe back on the gold standard. On February 6, 1929, Lord Montagu Norman, governor of the Bank of England, came to Washington for a conference with Andrew Mellon, the Secretary of Treasury. When he finished his visit, the Federal Reserve abruptly changed its monetary policy, increasing the discount rate. Before the stock market crashed, Paul Warburg gave warning to traders to get out of the market as there was a scheduled crash in March.
Well, let's get out the old stock ticker and have a look. Here's where I stopped checking it last time, September 1929. Oh no.
Only the inner circle of important men in the London connection knew the crash was planned during a time of prosperity in the U.S. Those who Warburg warned sold off their stock and put their money in government bonds. Not all traders were warned, and some of the wealthiest men lost everything overnight. The Federal Reserve increased the call rates by 20%. People were no longer able to meet the demand, and sadly, many killed themselves.
I have no choice. Neither do I.
The Federal Reserve changed the national interest rates from 6% to 1.5%. The U.S. money supply decreased by $8 billion. 12,000 of 24,000 banks closed down. The only people knew that the depression was created were powerful Wall Street bankers who were controlling everything. The Federal Reserve funded the First World War, but it was the policy that caused the Great Depression. Governor Miller of the Senate rightly pointed out that without the Federal Reserve, our country would have never been in a dire situation. J.P. Morgan and Kuhn Loeb Company had a visit from men who were told which stocks to buy and sell. J.P. Morgan and Kuhn Loeb Company had a list of men who were told which stocks to buy and sell. The men were bankers, CEO of major corporations, and politicians, both Democrat and Republican. The people who lost everything invested in get-rich stocks, encouraged by Calvin Coolidge, who was president at the time.
Well, let's have a look at my stock portfolio. Confederated slave holdings. How's that doing?
It's, steady.
Most economic depressions were caused by an exhaustion of credit, but the Great Depression was due to the people buying stocks at high prices, expecting them to continue to rise. When the prices came down, people lost everything. The people were not to be blamed because every major newspaper company, magazine, banker, economist and politician encouraged people to buy overpriced securities. When the Federal Reserve raised its rate to 6%, people got out of the market, driving securities down to record lows. Bankers and holding companies took the opportunity to purchase these securities at a fraction of the original value. Holding companies, which were created during the Great Depression, don't manufacture or sell a product but control company stock. Bankers let holding companies incorporate and adopt several industrial and financial properties before the bank took over for nothing. The London Connection sent over Lord Montagu Norman to ensure the Great Depression started according to schedule. I want to thank everyone for listening. Hit that thumbs up, notification bell, subscribe button, leave a comment, and tell a friend about me. We have 2 chapters left, the 1930s and then the Congressional Expo, and then we will be moving on. No one has really told me another topic if they want to do Disney or another Eustace Mullins book. No one's really commented to tell me which one they would rather do, so someone let me know, Disney or another Eustace Mullins book. If you want a Eustace Mullins book, I can list a bunch of them and then people can decide. Okay, see you later, guys.